Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. So welcome to our house once again for our third installment of the Hillbilly virtual Zoom dinner. This one's, of course, celebrating Christmas. And we're glad you could join us. I'm really glad that we're going to be a part of this celebration this year. Unusual as it may seem, but nevertheless, we'll be together as much as we can. So we're going to put together a few videos like we've done in the past. At this point, I've already sent out the information to the captains, and they will definitely get you the pertinent information with regard to the menus, the recipes, shopping list, and timeline. So I believe Mr. Price is going to be sending out some line. Anyway, why don't we get started with our first course? It's going to be 4 courses. It may seem a little daunting, overwhelming, because it's going to be 4 courses. It really isn't. Let's go with the first one. So the very first one is going to be the white bean crostini. So we've got canned white beans. We're going to try to make life as easy as possible. Canned white beans, garlic and shallots, sliced or chopped or diced, however you want to do that. We've got a little bit of lemon juice and some lemon zest and some fresh rosemary. And then, of course, we have some olive oil. This one happens to be from Mr. Oberdorf's property up in St. Helena. And then we've got a couple of crostini right here. And the one thing about crostini is that when they come out of the oven, it's not a bad idea to take a piece of garlic and just rub it over the top. To kind of infuse a little bit of garlic flavor on top of that crostini. So, let's go to the stove. We've got a saute pan right here, a small little saucepan. Now the olive oil is definitely part of the dish, not necessarily just as a cooking medium. So that's going to be, to start with, on medium heat. Now we're going to add the shallots right away. We can stir those for a second, just to slightly soften them up. And once that happens, after about, maybe 30 seconds or so, we will add the garlic. And the one thing we do not want to do is brown the garlic, because that will certainly add kind of a bitter note to this dish. One thing that we don't want. All right, it's been maybe 20 or 30 seconds. Let's add our garlic in here. This dish comes from a Zoom dinner that Marie and I participated in with Gary Farrell Winery. And it was really our first exposure to a Zoom meal. Enjoyed it immensely. And this was one of the items on the menu. It's delicious. It's a great make-ahead dish, real simple. All right, we're getting a little bit of browning on the shallots, a little bit on the garlic. Let's get the beans into the pot. I'm going to turn down the heat just a little bit. We don't need to add too much salt to this dish because the beans are canned and they're going to have a little bit of salt quality to them anyway. So we will put a little bit of salt in there. Yeah, we'll definitely put a little bit of pepper. Excuse me. All we're really doing at this point is reheating the beans. That's how simple this dish is to put together. Now these happen to be cannellini beans. They're a little bit larger, but you can take the back of a spoon, mash them down a little bit if you want. It might make it a little bit easier to actually put the beans on the crostini. Let's put the rest of the items in there. So we've got a little bit of lemon zest that goes in. And we've got some lemon juice. That's about a half of a lemon. Probably don't need too much more than that. Okay, definitely going to turn this down. Introduce the fresh rosemary, white beans, fresh rosemary. Hope you can get to know each other in there. There we go. And we are done. I'm going to turn off the heat. And the main part of this hors d'oeuvre is finished. So you can make this up just before dinner. You can make it up a day or two ahead, which I actually suggest, and perhaps put it in the microwave for a second just to reheat. That works out really, really well. The crostinis can easily be made up a day or so ahead of time. Keep them in a Ziploc bag. Our next video will address the kale pesto and assembling the hors d'oeuvre. So, see you in just a couple seconds.